This is Morten from English TV. We are here at this wonderful React event in Ghent where we are participating in the launch of Atomyx. And who's better to answer the questions than the head of everything, basically. Tom, good to see you.
Same here.
I mean, I saw your presentation this morning.
Yeah.
I mean, the promises you gave about the future of Atomyx. I guess you will be pretty busy the next couple of months, right?
We will indeed be busy delivering on those promises.
So how is it? I mean, because I spoke to your colleague David a few hours ago, and he said that we couldn't talk to anybody about it because it was a secret.
Yeah.
And then he said, but I need input.
Yeah.
Now you can talk to everybody. So you're the first reaction from a React event here. What is the feedback?
Well, we've been getting very good positive feedback. That's what I'm obviously happy about. I think what we will see in the next days is getting to the details of that feedback, and that's what we're really interested in. People saying what you're doing is great and you're on the right track, that's fine. But we really are looking now for the concrete feedback and how is it that we can help customers produce quantity of one at scale. That is what we're interested in.
And it's funny because just a moment ago we spoke to Bernd Sipper, right?
Yep.
And he said, yeah, he thinks that Atomyx is about 80% where it should be. And I was just like, 80%? Yeah, but it's an advantage, he said, because if you work for 100%, you will never get there. 80% is a good starting place for having a platform that really delivers and basically makes sure that you can work from there. Is that also how you see it, or?
That is not how I see it. I think Bernd is a great optimist and I love his view on that. We're not at 80%. It's difficult to stick a percentage on it. I think that we've developed a vision, and I think that that vision is very important to have. From a platform development point of view, we've got the main architecture, we've got the main UI and UX layer, and now it is time to walk to customers, to get their feedback, to have them start using it, and to adapt it to the requirements that they specifically have, that we think will be in line with the vision that we have for that.
When you look at, let's say, what makes Atomyx a success, I take that, I mean, first of all, you need to have a solid platform, of course, right?
Yeah.
But now you also introduce some partners that needs to bring it out to the end customers.
Yeah.
And you also develop some apps yourself, of course, right?
Yeah.
But to get it to, like they said, let's say the full impact in the market, how dependent are you on having more partners brought into the ecosystem and bring that to the market?
Yeah. So the Atomyx is an integration platform as a service by nature. So if you want to do integrations, you need connectivity. The platform's success will be built on that connectivity. However, our approach to that is slightly different to what other people have done with that, in the sense that we believe that we will drive those integrations and build those integrations at first ourselves. We want to make sure that the integrations that people are looking for that will increase the adoption of the platform, that is something that initially we will be a driving force behind. Now, the goal, of course, is to open that up to the partners at a later stage and to kind of democratize that so that everybody can have their own app, their own plugin into Atomyx.
So, I mean, I think if you look at the experience from 4Ps, I know it's two different entities now, but
yeah.
If you look at 4Ps and the latest iteration of 4Ps is integration of, let's say, third-party services and take advantage of all this. I take that has also been like a data collecting journey, figuring out what works and what doesn't work, and bring that into your experience with how Atomyx should work, right?
Yeah, and while we're technical people at heart, and we've always looked at technology kind of first, I think in the more recent years, I've been looking more and more at the business and focusing more and more on the business. Integration and the integration business is incredibly interesting from a technology point of view, and it's great to be helping customers. However, as a business, there's a limit to the scalability of it. And I think that other integrators see that as well. Now, I'm not sure if every integrator's ambition is equally as ours, but we want to have an impact on the industry. We want to have an impact on the print industry and make it a more integrated one. Therefore, the amount of integration services that you need, we want to lower them. We want to multiply with 4Ps the amount of projects that we can do. And you know what? If other integrators can benefit from that by using the platform, they're welcome.
I take that, I'm not a developer myself or anything, but I think that one of the challenges you see when you try to integrate different services, normalizing data, talking the same exchange language, or the way that you define your communication standards and like that, is that essentially what Atomyx does, or how should, I mean, for people that are not here and not listening to all the tech talk also going on also tomorrow, how should people understand this? Where does it fit into? Let's say that I have a printing company. I have 2 Canon machines and a Heidelberg press and Prinect workflow, and now I want to work with a web-to-print solution. Is that a scenario that fits into Atomyx?
Yeah, that is most definitely a scenario, and I think that as 4Ps and David, our CTO specifically, has been active in standards organizations for a very long time. I think standards are key in any industry where you've got an exchange of data going on. However, one of the things that we've learned is that standards will only bring you that far. With Atomyx, and specifically with Atomyx Manage, one of the things that we've done is we've deliberately chosen not to adopt a specific data model. So people can build their own data model and easily exchange transformed data between one system and another, rather than having to put a round object through a square hole. We're actually letting people define what the size, what the shape of their object is, and through which hole they want to push it.
I can't help thinking about, because does that mean that, for me to understand at least, does that mean that if you look at, let's say you have a source and you have an output, that basically means that if there is a description of those two, both the input and the output, basically then they can talk to each other? So instead of adapting the source to the output, you basically translate what comes into the machine, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And that is pretty awesome, because I mean that also opens up for a lot of legacy software, right?
It opens up for legacy software, but it also opens up for non-industry specific software. Again, if you look at some of the standardization efforts that have been going on, if you specifically look at the exchange of production-related information, there's been things like JDF and JMF, and they've done a great job. I think that is interesting and still very useful. However, in today's industry, you see that there's other systems that are being used that are not industry specific. You've got business analytics, you've got CRM systems.
A lot of IoT services are not standardized to our
industry.
A
lot of IoT services, indeed. But also, if you just look at the different e-commerce and web-to-print systems, the way that a product is defined is different from system to system, and is not necessarily understandable by another system. So there's always going to be a need for a translation part in that process.
I think I have 2 more questions. Because one thing is that now, I mean, I hope and believe that everybody can see how obvious it is to have that kind of middleware as an integration part. But when the day is over, somebody needs to pay it, and you just revealed the pricing, which I think should not be a limiting factor for anybody, basically, right?
I'm happy that you say that.
Yeah. But I was still thinking that, it's not always that the production management and let's say the top management of a company understand the value of what you do. So you still have to explain also. But I think that, if I understand you right, basically by having Atomyx as a partner on this one, it keeps development cost of your business down, basically, right? Because you don't have to end-to-end integrations to all the legacy systems we have in a company, right? Or
exactly. I think that when you speak to a number of the online printers or online platforms, today there are solutions. It is not that we're innovative in the sense that we're inventing something that wasn't there that there was no solution at all for. However, one of the things that you see is that the upfront investment that people have to make to get automation in, to get an integrated system in, is actually, that investment is actually quite high.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to lower the barrier to enter in that, but we're also trying to lower the integration services that come along with that to make that more accessible for more printers out there.
When you gave your presentation this morning, I think you were maybe a little bit too modest because you said that this is not a revolution in any way, not 3D translated, right? But I think that what you do here is something that is essentially taking what a lot of people are already working with and then trying to standardize it into something that makes it easier for people. That can have a huge impact on the industry.
Well, we started this and we're launching this because intrinsically we want to have an impact on the industry. At the same time, I'm not sure if it's our Belgian nature, but we have some level of modesty, and we're not really reinventing the wheel. We don't think that what we're doing is revolutionary. It is a pragmatic approach to a real-life problem, and if that can have an impact, that's great.
I don't think that Apple was very innovative when they did an MP3 player, right?
Exactly. Good, very good example.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, let's see, maybe in a couple of years' time, the stock value of Atomyx will be the world's largest. Who knows, right?
Exactly.
Fantastic. Thank you for having us here.
Thanks, Morten.
Okay.